ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యా రంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.
Hello students, now let us go ahead with the next chapter, that is nothing but taxonomy, but taxonomy always associated with morphology and living world. So taxonomy, it's always we say that here it speaks about what? Taxonomy always speaks about study of classification of plants, study of classification of plants. Meaning what? If I say Mangifera, then what an ecologist will say, what is the scientific name? Then I say species name, I say genus name, which family it belong to, Mangifera belong to which family. So you have to know certain important things. So especially if you take the living world lesson. So in living world lesson we have some examples. We have some examples, they are very much related to the concept called as taxonomy. So now in classification of plants, for example, let us take an insect called Musca domestica, right? It belong to what family and how it belong to, right? So everything we are going to study, everything we are going to wind about the characteristics like Mangifera indica, species is indica, genus is Mangifera, belong to which family? It belong to Anacardiaceae, right? It belong to which what you call order? Sapindales. It belong to order Sapindales. Then immediately it comes which belong to which class? Dicotyledonnae. It belong to which division? It belong to Spermatophyta. So in living world we have studied about the table. So what we have studied? We have studied about a table. So the table, in that we studied about everything. So make sure that in living world what we studied, the table is very important. Like the table we have discussed Musca domestica, it's nothing but housefly. Homo sapiens, that's for human beings, right? Dicot, example is Mangifera indica. Monocot, example is wheat plant. Like that we have made the table. So in that you have written no species, genus, family, order, class, division, kingdom. That is itself is called as classification. So when you study about classification of plants, itself is called as the branch called as taxonomy. Now let us continue with the taxonomy. Now if you look at in olden days, if you take how classification of plants they have done. So just now we have discussed study of classification of plants, it's called taxonomy. So let us come to the history of ancient times. If you look at how people classified the plants, so here they mainly take into consideration based on economic uses, based upon economic uses, right? Based on economic uses. Economic uses means the plant is used for what purpose. Based on that, earlier scientists they classified plant into different groups. For example, if you get the timber from the plant, we write it's called a timber yielding plant, right? If you get oil from the plant, it's called as an oil yielding plant, timber yielding plant, oil yielding plant. And if you get fiber from the plant, it's called a fiber yielding plant. And if the people, if they know that the plant has medicinal use like ashwagandha, Rauwolfia and digitalis, belladonna, atropa, right? Then as they get medicines from the plant, they used to call them as medicinal plants, right? Based upon their economic uses. If you get oil from the plant, simply we call them as oil yielding plant. If the timber is extracted, generally we call them as timber yielding plant. If you get fiber is being extracted, in generally they used to call with the fiber yielding plant because they don't know anything about the names of the plants, right? Now this classification of the plants slowly started by different people, right? So if you take the classification of plants, slowly there is a development of different systems of classification are evolved for classification of plants across the world. Now let us study. We have three different classifications. That is, first one is called as artificial system of classification. Artificial system of classification. And the second one is, that means first system which is used for classifying plants is artificial system. It has certain rules, certain characters are given to classify the plants. Then slowly after that, even they have developed another system of classification, and the second one is called as natural system of classification. Second one is referred as natural system of classification. First one is artificial system of classification. Second one is natural system of classification. And the third one is phylogenetic system of classification. Phylogenetic system of classification. So altogether how many systems of classification? So there are some systems which are used for classifying the plants. How many altogether we have? We have three systems of classification. What are they? Artificial system of classification. We will discuss about that. Then later after a few years, then they have developed another one by another scientist in different corner of the world, and they have given the name called as a natural system of classification. And next third one what they have introduced after few years of natural is nothing but phylogenetic system of classification. Now, so you know it very well. Now let us discuss about these things. Let us start with the first one. What is the very first one? Artificial system of classification. So let us talk about this part. So in here, when we take the artificial system of classification, now let us study about artificial system of classification. Now this is based on gross superficial morphological characters. Gross superficial morphological characters. Meaning overall morphological characters were taken into consideration in case of artificial system of classification. Earlier already Aristotle, he classified the plants into three groups: herbs, shrubs and trees, right? And also later one more scientist, Theophrastus. Aristotle, who is referred as what? Aristotle is the one, the scientist, a great scientist, who is referred as what? Father of biology. He is the one who is referred as father of biology because of his tremendous research work, tremendous effort. He is referred as father of biology. Theophrastus, who is referred as what? The father of botany. He is the one who contributed more for the development of the branch called as botany. So Theophrastus is the one who has written the book name called as De Historia Plantarum. De Historia Plantarum. So this is the name of the book. So in this they classified and studied many plants. In that many plants, few are nothing but medicinal plants they have studied, and both together they classified the plants into three groups. The plants are being classified into three groups. What are they? They are nothing but herbs, smaller plants, shrubs, as well as they even studied about what are called as trees. What are the three categories? Herbs, shrubs and trees. Right? Later the much credit goes to Carolus von Linnaeus. You know it very well. Carolus von Linnaeus. He is the scientist who is referred as what? He classified many plants. So, he is referred as a father of taxonomy. Who is referred as what? Carolus von Linnaeus, called father of taxonomy. What did he do? He popularized. We already have discussed this. He popularized and applied binomial nomenclature in giving names to the plants. Binomial nomenclature. So, here binomial nomenclature. Binomial nomenclature. So, he is the one who popularized binomial nomenclature. You know binomial nomenclature, right? So, every plant has a scientific name which has bi means two words, genus name and species name. Genus name according to ICBN. What is ICBN? International Center for Botanical Nomenclature. Genus term should written with capital letter and species term should write with small letter. So, there are certain more rules and regulations. You know, scientist name should be written in abbreviated form at the end of the scientific name. This is called as binomial nomenclature. Now, apart from this, now he has written the two books. You know it very well. He has written two books. Which are the two books he has written? What are the two books they have written? Carolus has written two books. What are those two books? Right? One is called as Species Plantarum. One is called as Species Plantarum. Other one is called as Systema Naturae. Other one is called as Systema Naturae. So, Species Plantarum speaks about plants. So, try to remember, Linnaeus is the one who classified plants into 24 groups. He classified plants into how many groups? He classified plants into 24 groups, and information on 24 groups he has written in the book name called A Species Plantarum. I repeat again, Linnaeus classified the plants into, he divided the plants into 24 groups and he has given names to most of the plants by binomial nomenclature, and about the classification of the plants he has written description in the book name called A Species Plantarum, and the classification about animals and their names which are identified and written in the book name called Systema Naturae. So, Carolus von Linnaeus has written two books, Species Plantarum studies about plants and Systema Naturae it gives study on animal classification, right. And moreover, as he classified into 24 groups, and based on classification he classified, once again I am writing, he classified plants into how many groups? Into 24 groups. Into 24 groups. How did he classify plants in 24 groups? He classified plants based on mostly morphological characters, right, and also floral characters, Mostly morphological characteristics are taken into consideration and some are floral characters. What are these floral characters? Floral characters means, these are very, very important, number of floral characters, length of floral characters or floral members, union of stamens and union of carpels, and union of carpels. Okay, so here based on number of floral characters, we have taken into consideration of length of stamens. You know, some stamens are shorter, some stamens are longer, and some carpels are shorter and some are bigger. How many number of stamens are there? Monandrous, diandrous, polyandrous, right? And union of stamens, you know, union of stamens, right? Polyadelphous and all that. Union of carpels, right? Based on these floral characters, based on morphological characters, Linnaeus is the one who classified plants into 24 groups. That's why Linnaeus called this artificial system of classification, he called itself as sexual system of classification. Itself is called as sexual system of classification, because sexual characters are taken into consideration. What are sexual characteristics for the plant? Stamens, that is male gamete, carpels or pistils are nothing but female gametes. So here more of floral characters means calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium are the floral characters are taken into consideration. That is why the system what Linnaeus has given itself is called sexual system of classification. That is why artificial system of classification itself is also called as sexual system of classification. Itself is also called sexual system of classification. Artificial system of classification itself is called as sexual system of classification by Linnaeus, right. So here if you look at what are the important things we have to look at here again. So look at here, artificial system of classification is based on a gross superficial morphological characters. Gross means overall morphological characters are taken into consideration. Next is Aristotle is a scientist who is referred as father of biology. Theophrastus is a scientist who is referred as father of botany. Both of them, they kept an effort in classifying the plants into two groups. What are they? Herbs, shrubs and trees. Next is Theophrastus, you know, he has written the book name called De Historia Plantarum. Another scientist, Carolus von Linnaeus, who is referred as a father of taxonomy. He popularized with binomial nomenclature. He has written two books. One is called Species Plantarum. In that plants are classified into 24 groups. Systema Naturae, in this it is about classification of animals. And here he classified plants into 24 groups based on what characters? Based on mostly morphological characters and floral characters. Which floral characters are taken into consideration? Number, length, union of stamens, union of carpels. As more of floral characteristics along with the morphological characters are taken, this is also called sexual system of classification. Right. Now artificial system of classification itself is called now sexual system of classification as per Linnaeus, as he studied more of floral characters. Right. Now let us continue further here. Right. Now where are we? We are here in artificial system of classification itself is also called as sexual system of classification. Now by so many scientists as keep giving the characteristics, what they have done is some plants with they show different characters means unrelated plants are kept in same group are kept in same group. Are kept in same group. Okay, what is the meaning of this? Some plants they have taken, that means they are nothing but what? Unrelated plants. Unrelated means what here? Now they given classification, I am writing again here, the classification based on one or few similar characters. One or few similar characters. What's the meaning of this? Okay, Aristotle has given one classification, Theophrastus has given, Linnaeus has given. After that, taking the effort of all the scientists, then they started classifying plants into different groups by taking into one similar character. They have taken two plants. In these two plants, suppose this is one plant, this is another plant, okay. Both are having white stem, here also having white stem. This is entirely a different plant. This is also entirely a different plant, but have the same, one character is same. What is that? White color stem. For example, I am telling you, white color stem, both are like matching with only one character. So, because of one similar character, or maybe because of few similar characters, they started keeping in one group. But this is a black marker, this is a blue marker, right? Like that, this is a different plant, this is entirely a different plant, but having only one similarity. What is that? White colored stem. So, that is what here, by the end of artificial system of classification, what happened? So, at disadvantages I am speaking about, I am talking about drawbacks. Drawbacks of artificial system of classification. After taking different scientists and their effort, if you look at the drawbacks, so some plants with different characters, meaning this is a plant, different characters, this is a plant, totally a different characters. Both are unrelated plant, this is not related with this plant, but just because of one similar character or few similar characters, maybe this is entirely a different plant, this is also entirely a different plant, but both have white colored stem. So, this is different plant, this is different plant, together placed in the same group. I hope you got the meaning, okay. Some plants they have chosen with the different characters, that means they are unrelated plants, totally different characters, but kept in same group. This is one of the drawback. So, obviously what you can write other statement, another drawback is obviously the some plants with the similar characters, meaning closely related plants are kept in different group, Okay, what's the meaning of this? There are some plants here, quite opposite the statement, right? With more of similar characters, they are very much closely related plants, but both of them are kept in a different group. What's the meaning of this? Suppose I take here, so here, so this is one plant, this is more similar with this plant. These two plants are very similar. 90% of the characteristics of this plant matching with the 90% characteristics of this plant. Maybe one or two characters they differ, meaning 95% of characters what you find in this plant are the same characters you find in this plant, but only 5% of the characteristics are different, right? So, mostly they are similar, 90% they are similar, but these closely related plants, these plants with similar characters placed in different groups. So, here what happened? Some plants with similar characters, meaning this is matching with 90% characters with this both look same, that means they are closely related plants. What do you call them? They are close related plants, or you can write closely related plants. As they are 90% similar, instead of placing them in the same group, but they differ in 5 characters, no, 5 or 6 characters, no. Based on that 5 to 6 few different characters, both of them are placed in different groups. So, this similar plant falls in one group, this similar plant falls in another group. So, these are nothing but drawbacks of artificial system of classification. Itself is called sexual system of classification. So, there are some plants with different characters. Different characters means unrelated plants, right, but kept in same group. Why? Because artificial system of classification is purely given based on one or few similar characters. With few similar characters, they started classifying, putting the plants into different groups. At the same time, obviously automatically you can write other statement. Some plants, even though they are similar in characters, meaning they are very much closely related plants, but kept in a different group. Right. So, this is nothing but drawback of artificial system of classification, also called as a sexual system of classification. Right. Let us move on to the next one. Right. Guys, let us continue with what is called natural system of classification. As we find some drawbacks with the artificial system of classification, after few years, a few scientists across the world, they framed certain rules for classifying the plants, and they classified plants that will come under natural system of classification. So, this is given based on, so this classification is based on morphological characters, and more of floral characters, Okay. So, why think so? Here if you take the morphological characters, if you talk about morphological characters, what are morphological characters? Generally, if you take morphological organs like root, stem, leaf, inflorescence, until here we take them under morphological characters, or up to leaf, fine. But these morphological characters, they keep changing due to effect of environment, meaning they undergo several modifications. These vegetative organs, they undergo several modifications by environment. They undergo several modifications by environment. So, root will be like one time it will become like very taproot it appears, but after end of the second year in biennial plants it becomes storage root, right. Similarly, stem also, it would be thin and not hairy in the young, but when the plant grows and become elder, it will become hairy stem, right? Leaves also, pinnately compound leaf, palmately compound leaf, they keep changing in young stage, adult stage. If environment is not favor, then leaves will get fall off. So these morphological characters, they will get affected by, they keep changing due to the effect of environment. So if the environment is favorable, more leaves, more part of the huge stem will come. If there is no characters, or itself we call them as what? Vegetative characters. Morphological characters or vegetative characters are not stable. Are not stable, meaning they keep getting affected. Yes or no? Vegetative characters or morphological character, they will get affected by environment. That's why they are not stable. That is the reason why in classifying the plants, more of floral characters are taken into consideration. More of floral characters are taken into consideration. What are floral characters? You know, calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoecium. So these floral characters are not affected by environment, are not affected by environment, are not changed by environment. Why do they don't undergo any changes? Why? Because once stamens are produced, once carpels are produced, or whatever the length or size or the number, they remain same if you take in any season or in any condition. So floral characteristics are not affected by environment, whereas morphological characteristics are affected by environment, right? Keep changing due to effect of environment. And morphological characters undergo several modifications. Here they will not undergo, and moreover floral characteristics are more stable, right? Floral characters are more stable, means they will not undergo any changes. Suppose if you take number of stamens are 10, whatever the flower produced in the whole plant, in all flowers number of stamens will be 10 only. So they will not get affected by environment. Number of carpels are 3. In all plants it will be 3 only. In summer season if you see 3, if the flower produced in rainy season also it will be 3 only, right? So floral characteristics are more stable, or we say more conserved. More conserved, the characteristics remain constant and they will be conserved, meaning the same characteristics will be expressed for generations together. That's why we say floral characteristics are more stable and they are more conserved. So natural system of classification, basically it is based on morphological characters. Of course, few morphological characters are taken into consideration, but more of importance is given to the floral characters. Why? Because if you take floral characters, what are the conditions you taken into consideration for floral characters? What are the conditions? For example, number of stamens. Number of stamens are how many? Number of carpels are how many? Because Carolus von Linnaeus already has taken into consideration of sexual characters, right? What are sexual characters? The number of stamens and carpels, length of stamens and carpels, right? Then union of stamens, that means stamens may be free or they may be united. We studied stamens, anthers, like cohesion, adhesion, union among similar members, union among dissimilar members. If not, they may be free, right? Similarly, union of carpels, right? So these are the conditions are mainly taken into, more of floral characters are taken into consideration in a natural system of classification, right? So here more floral characters, very few morphological characters, very important, right? I will just tell you again, natural system of classification is based on morphological characters, but morphological characters itself are called vegetative characters. They are root, stem, leaf, inflorescence. They keep changing due to effect of environment, or we say they undergo several modifications by environment. So these morphological characters or vegetative characters are not stable. That's why more importance is given to floral floral characters because they are not affected by environment, they are more stable and they are more conserved, more stable, more conserved. Like for example, number of stamens, number of carpels, length, union of stamens, union of carpels. So these things are very, very important in natural system of classification. In natural system of classification also, many scientists has given different systems of classification, but let us take most important one. So there is a scientist in natural system of classification also, like in artificial system of classification, how the Theophrastus, Aristotle, Linnaeus has given different systems, different classifications. Similarly, natural system of classification also, different scientists have given different classifications based upon the rules of natural system of classification, giving more importance to floral characters. But among all systems of classification, most familiar one, universally accepted system of classification given by the great effort of the two scientists, they are Bentham and Hooker. Bentham and Hooker. Bentham and Hooker are the two scientists. So based upon the natural characters, based upon the rules and regulations given by natural system of classification, they have given more importance to the floral characters with a few morphological characters. The two scientists Bentham and Hooker, they have given the classification itself is called as Bentham and Hooker system of classification. Bentham and Hooker system of classification. Till today, universally accepted system of classification is Bentham and Hooker system of classification. Right? But there is one drawback here. There is one drawback here. What is the drawback of this? What is the drawback of this natural system of classification? In this evolutionary relationship or evolutionary characters are not considered. What is the drawback of this? Evolutionary characters are not considered. This is the drawback of natural system of classification. Natural system of classification has morphological characters. They have taken into consideration a floral character, but this system of classification was not taken into consideration of evolutionary characteristics are not considered. Okay, that's why later they developed what is called as third one. Later they developed next one called as what? Third one. What is third one? Phylogenetic system of phylogenetic or genetic system of classification. Now in this they mainly concentrated on evolution characters. They take into consideration of evolutionary characters. So this is based on evolutionary characters. Right? So what is the drawback of natural system of classification? Morphological floral characters are considered, but evolutionary characteristics are not considered. That is the reason why natural system of classification, after few years they developed what is called phylogenetic system of classification. Phylogenetic system of classification is given including evolutionary characters. Now let us come back to natural system of classification. Who are the two scientists? Bentham and Hooker are the two scientists who has given natural system of classification. This is universally accepted and they have written the book name called as Genera Plantarum. What is the book name called? Genera Plantarum. This is the name of the book, and into this 10th volume. So they have given natural system of classification. natural system of classification was given by the two scientists Bentham and Hooker. They described this classification in the book name called Genera Plantarum. Very important question. So what is the name of the book? Genera Plantarum. In the 10th volume they mentioned about natural system of classification. So I hope you got it right. Natural system of classification, we have so many systems of classification, but the most important one is Bentham and Hooker system of classification, universally accepted, and that we will discuss continuation of this. They have written the book name called Genera Plantarum. In the 10th volume they mentioned about natural system of classification.
ఇంటర్మీడియట్ విద్యారంగంలో అగ్రగామి మన ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్. ఐఐటి జేఈఈ అయినా నీట్ అయినా తిరుగులేని విద్యా సంస్థ ఎన్ఎస్ఆర్ ఇంపల్స్.